Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. Today we'll be lecturing on the concepts of constructing valid arguments. The topics that we'll cover will be mastering valid arguing skills, how to construct valid arguments, and how to evaluate the validity of arguments of others. When we're done, we'll take a short break and we'll come back in small groups to discuss some questions I'll have on the board, and then after that we will have a group discussion. So on with the lecture. First of all, why do we want to master valid argument skills? Valid argument skills are important to master for a couple of different reasons. First of all, it shows that we are learning to think critically and communicate in that way. It helps us to effectively express ideas to one another, and it's important to be able to do this on paper as well as in discussion. In the book by Chaffee, Thinking Critically, pages 355 through 359 is a list of deductive argument forms. And they're very helpful. It is not inductive reasoning. We don't have time to talk about that today, but we will later. For today, we're talking about deductive reasoning. Application of a general rule. This is very Socratic in method, and it states that this is the formula: all A are B, S is an A, therefore S is B. That's the formula. You can put in whatever you like in there. So for instance, all men, men being A, are B, mortal. Since Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is mortal. This is a demonstration of the general rule. The second form of deductive argument in our book is modus ponens, or affirming the antecedent. If A, then B, A, therefore B. So an example of this might be, if I drive below the speed limit, I will not get a ticket. That's A. I will drive below the speed limit. Therefore, C, I will not get the ticket. This is affirming the antecedent. The third form listed in our text is modus talens, or denying the consequence. If A, then not B, therefore not A. Take a moment and see if you can come up with an example of this. I'll give you an example from my end, and then you can work on one on your own. If my coworker is responsible, she will arrive to work on time. My coworker does not arrive on time, therefore my coworker is not responsible. Next we come to the fourth form of deductive argument. This is my personal favorite, disjunctive syllogism. I call this the either or. A or B, not A, therefore B. So a perfect example of this would be, for instance, I either left my laptop in the car or I left it at home. My laptop is not in the car, therefore it must be at home. Now, this depends on the truth of the premise. For this particular example that I've used, I would have to say, was the car locked? For an argument to be considered sound, it must have true reasons and a valid structure. Here are some examples of unsound arguments. Let's start with a true reason but an invalid structure. Cavities develop when food is left between the teeth. Brushing your teeth helps to remove that food. Brush your teeth because I say so. So it doesn't follow. It had true reasons but an invalid structure. Cavities develop when food is left between your teeth. You'll never get a boyfriend if you have cavities. You must brush your teeth. This is an example of false reasons in a valid structure. A false reason and an invalid structure. You'll never get a boyfriend if you have cavities. No one will like you if you have cavities. Brush your teeth because I said so. This is an example of invalid structure in addition to false reasoning. So let's move forward and talk about sound arguments. Any questions about the reasons that an argument becomes unsound? All right, well then let's move forward to talking about sound arguments. And what this means is that you have true reasoning in a valid structure. Now, those of us who are parents have probably said more than one occasion because I said so. And this is a natural human thing, but there is a way to make that a valid argument. That would be cavities develop when food is left between your teeth. The next reason is I am your parent. It is my imperative to take care of you and to act in your best interest. So I am telling you that it is best for you to brush your teeth. That's when I said so works. It's true reasons in a valid structure. Another example might be cavities develop when food is left between your teeth. Brushing your teeth removes the food. Therefore, brushing teeth prevents cavities. So those are just a few examples of sound and unsound arguments. Any questions for review? Then let's take a short break. When you come back, I will have written on the board 3 examples of arguments, and we will decide if they are sound or unsound. And we will also decide what form of deductive argument each one is.